Exactly. And I think that's not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur,
Right.
but you have to think about it this way too. Like, that's fine if you want to work for people, that's great. That's actually very easy. You can just fucking go to work, go home, and you don't have to worry about it. Because like when you have 9 to 5, it's just 9 to 5.
Yeah.
When you have a business, it's 24/7. That's the thing.
Facts. Yeah.
It's like I traded
Exactly.
my
That's
9 to 5 for a 24/7.
Great point. Yeah. Sometimes I want to say that, bro.
It's like it's great, but that you're building your own thing, but then it's also so difficult.
I wouldn't say I regrets, but sometimes
yeah.
like, damn man, maybe I should. No,
It's very like when you look at I was like, man, like people are just like they go to work, they get paid, and then like it's all good.
It's different when you're on the other side of the fence. I tell you that for sure.
But yeah, what were we talking about?
Oh no, yeah. So that's just kind of like what I try to portray with the message, right? And then it kind of leads to where I'm at today as well. So I just like, it's not just a restaurant, it's not just clothing or shoes.
Yeah, tell me about your how you started your restaurant though. Did you always want to have a restaurant?
Hell no.
Or was just like
fuck no.
Was just that an opportunity?
I hated it.
It's because you used to work like restaurants before.
Yeah, man, I've been a manager and stuff like that too. So, yeah, it's not. I mean, I wouldn't recommend. I'm sorry, guys. Like, the restaurant job is probably like the worst.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like the hardest of all.
Well, before we get there, start. How did you come across that, or like, how did this happen? Like, why did you start a restaurant?
I want to ask you that. I mean, I didn't know how it started, and sometimes I think that's just how it works. Sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It just happens. And that's sometimes how we get our calling.
Well, what is somebody?
The restaurant was
like you told me. I don't know if I think you briefly told me like so somebody was selling a restaurant and then you decided.
Yeah.
To buy it?
It's not really finalized. We don't have to get into detail and all that, but basically, had an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Friends of the family. My mother knows her as well, knows them, right? So they had conversations and whatnot. And at this time, I was like, I'm doing my thing,
Was this the one during the time you were doing like Mang and all that stuff?
Right, I was doing all that stuff, selling shoes and my clothing, Mang and stuff. And my 9 to 5, which was in a pharmacy. I was a farm tech.
Oh, okay.
All right, so, and that's when my mom was, we talked about all that stuff with me. And I'm like, and I was giving her advice because I was trying to tell her how to do things. But my mother it's so funny. Oh my goodness. Long story short, my mom thinks it's like, I don't know, like Vietnam or something. We're like, yeah, let's just start selling things and forget about, I'm like, Mom, there's something called licensing and like laws.
Oh, she was just like, let's just get
IRS, yeah, and like paperwork. A lot of documentations that we need to provide and such and like be approved for.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, really? I thought I just started selling. No, that's not how it works. But just to give you an idea, by her that mindset that she was having, obviously she needs help.
Yeah.
Like running a business or whatnot. So like
because before that she was just like working jobs here and there.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where I stepped up when I came in. Right.
Okay.
I came in, and also it's just kind of like what we do as sons. You know what I'm saying? Like my biggest goal is to retire her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take care of my mother. So that's kind of like what I had to sacrifice and drop everything I was doing. But at the same time, this is actually part of my journey, and it's actually kind of what I wanted to do as well. But just another business, and you can look at it as stepping stone, whatever it may be. But I grew to love it though. I grew to enjoy it. I've already had experience, the ins and outs. Now I'm in like the business end of it. And I had to learn everything on the fly, bro. So that's how we got the restaurant. And so everything's, I built an LLC for it, Johnny Boy LLC. And that's just one of many, hopefully, DBAs out there. The Godfa. I'm going to plug my
shout out.
Is that okay?
Go for it, dude.
Plug myself.
Yeah.
Godfa.
Plug. Yeah. Go to his restaurant. It's actually really good.
kind of got milk, but got pho. You know what I'm saying?
That's very catchy, very modern name.
It didn't require much thought, man. I'm like, what the fuck do I name it? Oh my god, it's either fucking, right? Fucking.
That would have been hilarious, dude. I'm sure somebody already has that though.
Probably, man. I'm pretty sure someone has got pho too. Shit, but
Yeah, maybe.
so I'm like, man, got pho. Let's do that. So you'll see it, the rooster logo as well. When it comes to Vietnamese food, it's all about the broth, and I do believe we have, if not one of, the best broth in town, man. And
Hey, there you go. You heard it from here.
no bias.
Yeah, I honestly highly recommend it. I've been there multiple times, and every time, service is great, especially when Johnny's there, and the food is great as well. So yeah, if you live in Reno or if you ever visit Reno, got pho.
That's where they come. People from Cali, all these, and it's crazy. Like I have a lot of my Asian folks. You know what I mean? They come from like the Bay Area.
Oh yeah, they
They'll
go
even-
to restaurant.
Yeah, they go straight there because of the freeway, and then they're like, "You're," and I got a lot of, which says a lot because
Yeah.
I have this like, I put like San Jose in the Bay Area like on a fucking pedestal when it comes to like Asian food or like pho, especially pho, because that's where all the Viets are mostly in San Jose and the Bay and stuff, and they'll come here and I'm like, "No, your pho is better than ours." I'm like, "What?" And coming. And of course, it does mean something. Not that, like, particular race have to do anything, but just knowing like my people and stuff, like it does mean something when it comes to like the Vietnamese people.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? But yeah, so they'll even say that. So that's kind of like those are high praises that I really take in. And I got people who like customers that come from the south of Reno that they come here all the time just for that. So like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good places too, but I think we're one of the best. We're pretty good, I think. I think we're right. Yeah.
You're doing
For
pretty
sure,
well.
bun me. I don't care.
Well, honestly, so I'm only like
I'll flex on that. The bun me.
from the person outside looking in, like from the Instagram posts that you post, and then when I go to your restaurants, it's like there's always people there. So it looks, from my perspective, it looks pretty successful.
It definitely grew.
Like
from
I don't
the
know,
beginning.
yeah, exactly. You've only been around for 2 years, and it seems like it's popping. Like when people go, like they usually post on Instagram, like, "Oh, I'm here eating pho, whatever."
I had to change the culture. I think a lot of that had to do with it.
Yeah, and I think because you started it, you've been posting, like you always post videos about your like, now you have a lobster pho
Yeah.
and all that.
The only spot that has that.
There you go. Shout out. If you're dying for a lobster and pho at the same time, freaking got pho, man. Go check it out.
We're the only place with we're the only place in Reno that has a lobster pho. So I kind of, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, I got, some influences from California as well. That's
Yeah.
where I get a lot of my influences from, like different cities and such.
And I feel like that's fine, dude. Like
I'm
don't
not a
get-
fucking chef.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm a chef in my own way. I'm an artist, I guess, more than a chef. So
So what's that idea of just kind of like, that's
yeah.
like you tried it before? I'm like, I think I might incorporate this into
Honestly,
my
I
restaurant.
haven't tried it before at those places.
Okay.
But because like my heart's always in California, like I've said, growing up, that I like, cause Reno, man, that's the great thing about business in Reno, and as you can see how it's grown like astronomically.
Yeah.
We're like top 10 of this, or most expensive, or whatever, or top 20 of like the fastest growing city and such, all for a reason now, right? So, but it's funny cause Reno is so slow. I feel like it's in the middle of everything else. It's so slow in all aspects of life, bro. Food, clothing, fashion, sneakers, music. It's always behind. And that being said,
I mean, compared to a big city,
yeah.
it's
Which is-
behind.
But there's the pros and cons, and that's where I kind of capitalize
Yeah.
on that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's actually a good thing for me in terms of what I'm trying to do in my life here, because now you're like a step ahead, right? And that's
Yeah.
kind of where we're at when we started the whole clothing and shoes thing. Because like I was telling these guys too, like, dog, we could be the pioneers of this place. We make our own Fairfax, and Fairfax Avenue is Melrose, LA, where I used to love shopping.
Yeah.
And that grew to more like a tourist attraction. So I saw potential here on our South Virginia Midtown now. I'm like, dude, we could make our own little Fairfax here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I was saying. And since we're kind of like even though we had friends that I'm sure you know too back in the days, I think they were ahead of their time when they tried to sell shoes here.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out because they started like so early to where bigger cities were already on it.
Yeah.
But Reno is so slow.
I do get that though. Because I don't know if Reno is the place. I mean, everywhere is a place of hustle, right?
Yeah.
But it's a different kind of hustle over here. I think there's not a lot of like you said, like entertainment, art. I think I'm gonna include food in there too. Because I don't see a lot of like. Maybe I don't know enough. Like I don't know if there's a lot of like entertainers here, or like there's not a lot of like YouTubers or podcasters or like that live in Reno. I mean, there are some people that have podcasts and all that stuff that do like all this stuff, but
It has its history, but like more in like hidden, so to speak.
yeah, like maybe they just like kind of like low key,
Right, low key.
But like if you go to LA, there's a shit ton of people.
it's normal.
You know, I think that's kind of like a normal behavior over there. But over here, it's a college town. People come here to go to UNR, and then also we have a lot of like factories. So it's like people are just like working into like, you know, like warehouses and all that stuff. So it's
So that's why at that time I think it was hard. It was harder. I would think it's harder to like hustle and try to make way from Reno at that time. But now it's growing. Like I saw this place like someone that you would like want to come back to and like retire or live because the economy at that time, but now it's fucking expensive. But like at that time, like the economy, and you had everything in your backyard, you know, all season long, you know, summer, skiing, Tahoe Resort, stuff like that. So it's a good place to
and
retire.
that's what I do like about Reno. It's like all the outdoor stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as growing up, man, trying to hustle, make money, no, I don't think that was it. Until now, though, I think it's a good time now.
I think it's a good time now for
I think it's a
like,
good time now.
people that are starting something.
Well, I mean, it tells you a lot when a lot of Southern, you know, SoCal moving here, Vegas moving here, our freeways are fucking. I remember when bro, what the hell is traffic? Now we have traffic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we do.
And every corner is like not a Starbucks. Every corner is a fucking apartment being built now. You know what I'm saying? So, and we're actually on the map in terms of like I was saying earlier, top 20 fastest growing city. And they're saying we're starting to like trend our way towards like Cali because, bro, minimum wage is raising like every 6 months now, which is crazy.
Is it?
Yeah, it's good for the employees, but it's not good for me.
'Cause you're paying people.
Shit, but yeah, it just grew now, July, so now it's $12 now.
Oh, okay.
It was just $11.25, like literally, like, you know what I mean, not too long ago. So